today. We've got it. Hey everybody, it's Rebecca from Perfect Foods, and some of you guys are here through me. I found you through Instagram, or you've been part of my Raw Vegan Reset program, or you've gotten wheatgrass and microgreens from me before. But I just wanted to introduce myself for those of you who are new. My name is Rebecca, and I'm from Perfect Foods, and we are local organic wheatgrass and microgreen growers. So we grow organic wheatgrass and broccoli sprouts and sunflower sprouts. And not only are we farmers, but now we are actually going into healing and helping people with programs and coaching and education to give you a step-by-step guideline to improve your health and overall be able to do a successful cleansing and detoxing program at home successfully. So that is what my goal is. And every Wednesday night, I bring in different guest speakers who have done that on their own and have inspiring stories or different aspects to a healthy lifestyle that I can teach you so that you can incorporate new things into your lifestyle, get excited, and look forward to these Wednesday evening classes every 7:30 and look forward to the community that we are creating. And honestly, every single week, I get more people. So it's really cool to see how many people are becoming part of this tribe and how many people are realizing the value of food as medicine and the value of taking care of our bodies. So I just wanted to thank you all for being here and also congratulate you for taking the time out of our busy lives, especially now that things are opening up and we all want to be out and about and hanging out socially, to still be giving this a priority, because I grew up learning about wheatgrass and microgreens as one thing, but also just seeing a lot of illness, because in the business that I grew up in, a lot of people come to it once they're already ill. And my goal is to really help it be more of a preventative thing, so that you're not coming to me when you have something really serious going on, but rather coming to me before that happens and learning how to make these healthy lifestyle habits part of your life that you enjoy and really look forward to, so that you can avoid that. And the cost is so much less when you start now. So I hope to inspire you and also hear what's going on with you guys. So I just want to say hello to everybody who's in here so far. Jaclyn's our guest speaker. She's going to be great today. Cindy, how you doing? I know that this is week 3 for you. What happened this week? How are you doing this week?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm actually driving right now back from a swim, but yeah, I mean, I haven't been staying with it totally because I kind of been having a lot of stress and stress eating, but I've got some more wheatgrass coming, and I'm doing different sprouts I'm adding to my smoothies, and yeah, doing some more juice and all of that. So not too bad, but I'm back on the coffee awesome. Right now. Yeah, I love the coffee though. So I'm trying to give that up again, just 1 cup a day.
Okay. That's all. That I feel like that's definitely a very realistic goal, is to just try and wean things off rather than going completely cold turkey. Like, part of my program is going completely cold turkey and changing everything in order to get the best benefits, which you did do, which was awesome. And then now that you're going back into real life and trying to just kind of like ease it in, you're going to start to figure out how to make this part of your reality rather than just like all or nothing, because that's not what I want this to be. I don't want this to be like an all or nothing kind of thing. I want it to be, how can I actually take 1 or 2 things from this class or from this program and make this a part of my lifestyle that I learned for good, and even one step further, teach the people around me in my life. So yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay.
Thank you, Cindy. Shoshana, always good to see you.
Hi. We're doing intros. I just popped on here. Hi, I'm Shoshana. I am a vegan of 16 and a half years and has started the 1-month reset cleanse. I think like 6 weeks ago now.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So, yeah, like 6 weeks ago. So I had some traveling, so I had to like kind of unofficially delete a week from my month, but I continued with my own thing and staying raw, and yeah, I've had incredible results with it. And this is Mazzy, And so I've had incredible results. My stomach has just been very flat. My bloating and everything has gone away. My skin has been glowing, and I feel incredible. I've gotten great feedback from my acupuncturist and from my craniosacral therapist. And yeah, my body did reset. I have a completely different relationship with food now, and now the food that I eat, I'm realizing it makes me feel full, and it's sustained. You know, it's sustained. It lasts, and my eating has become more meaningful. I'm eating to nourish myself as opposed to satiate cravings or emotions, and I've just found myself in a much better rhythm, and hormonally, and just with my everyday routine. It's been fantastic, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, Rebecca. Hats off, because this is a wonderful program, and it was really life-changing.
Thanks, Shoshana. That it's so good to hear that and to see you glowing. You know that you guys can't see her, but she's an angel, and I hope that you continue to be a light. I wanted to say that today with Jaclyn as the guest speaker, we're going to be talking about the internal conversations that we have. So as we go around, even Shoshana, if you have, or you wanted to chime in, or in the chat, go ahead and think about, while we're talking and while people are introducing themselves, or even as you're introducing yourselves and as Jaclyn is talking, maybe an internal conversation or a negative thought that is kind of repeating in your head about food, about limiting beliefs, any kind of challenges that you've had mentally during this program or while you're trying to make health changes, but whether you're in part of my program or you're just, listening in and exploring eating healthy, something that has been holding you back, something that is a limiting belief that keeping you steady and keeping you stagnant, and maybe to identify that, and maybe we can address it and figure out what's something that we can replace that with. What's a belief that we can replace that with? I think that can be really powerful. So if anyone does have something like that, please just post that in the chat, and maybe we can go through that and address it. Thank you.
That would be awesome. Yeah, and even if, I just want to add one thing to that, if you do have internal dialogue and maybe you're nervous or embarrassed or whatever, it can even be something as simple as, oh, I have a hard time eating 3 meals a day and I'm battling with this, or I have a hard time remembering to eat breakfast and I'm battling with this, or it could even be a blocker that you're facing in your day-to-day life. And those thoughts are things that are holding you back. Those thoughts are things that we all go through and things that we all process.
Yeah, I think that also, because over the years I hear different things, and that's kind of what I wanted you to think about, Jaclyn, too, is like things that you've heard clients say, like what are the most common limiting beliefs or reasons for stagnancy. And I think a lot of times it's not feeling like you deserve to feel good, not feeling like you deserve to be that sexy, authentic, optimal self, not even knowing what that is, being so out of touch with that not even being in touch with your true authentic self. Yeah. So I think we get so like lost in the negative habits that we're in that we forget, or we're out of touch with our true shining self that doesn't have that problem. So to imagine that we are the person that doesn't have that problem, that is a huge key of filling in the dream and making a prospecting thoughts of totally 100% embodying a person that doesn't have those thoughts and doesn't have those beliefs. That is the ultimate goal, and so hard to achieve, but something that we're going to talk about today. And hopefully that will be like a goal or an exercise that you guys can take with you this upcoming week, is to notice those moments when you have negative thoughts and limiting beliefs, and be like, and recognize within yourself, like, that doesn't have to be me. I'm not actually living that life. So anyway, I want to continue to go through and give everyone a chance to introduce themselves that would like to. So I see someone, Frozo. I'm not sure who that is, but I'd love for you to introduce yourself if you'd like to.
Yeah, I think you might have seen me, right? Um, I lived in Manhattan, and I think we met in Manhattan. But um, since COVID, I'm living outside here in New Jersey, and the access to wheatgrass and stuff is quite limited here. I got, since I didn't want to go shopping so much, I got the Meals on Wheels, which is a terrible food. So now I started sprouting myself. So I have sprouts every week, every day. I started a new tray, um, and now I live in Lakewood, and close here in Lakehurst there is a farmers cooperative market with very fresh New Jersey food, locally produced. So a lot of really healthy vegetable, I think. And then by chance, I saw the email invitation, and here I am.
Welcome.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much, and welcome. I will say that we do ship to Lakewood. So if you need, if you're having any trouble with growing, we can just ship you fresh wheatgrass and microgreens, and we can even put you on an auto shipment and continue.
I think I actually have to buy myself a juicer. I had a juicer, what do you call this compression, this things that squeezes and stuff. But we had a house fire 3 years ago, and we lost everything. So we haven't replaced everything yet, but that's on my list. And I know you have this as an offer with a starting kit, right?
Yeah, so we have a wheatgrass juicer, and we also have like a fruit and vegetable juicer. So the wheatgrass juicer is the Dr. Squeeze wheatgrass juicer, and that's $120.
Yeah,
and
I know.
The fruit and vegetable juicer that we have currently is the Tri-Best, and that's like a masticating. It's good. It juices fruits, vegetables, and wheatgrass and sprouts. And that one is $299, like $300.
Yeah.
So depending on your budget, both are good. But you might just go straight for the wheatgrass juicer if you're not looking to get a whole spiel.
Yeah. We have another juicer here that I'm using to do like celery, cucumber, apple juices and stuff, and beet in it, which is always very refreshing and feels good. But I don't have the juicer for the wheatgrass, because you can't really put the wheatgrass in a regular juicer. That doesn't work. I figured that out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's something that you can do, is just get the wheatgrass juicer, and we can ship the product to you. So if you want to just leave your email below,
I will look into it. Yes.
If you could just leave your email and your phone number below in the comments, I'll shoot you an email. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you for introducing yourself. I see someone, Lothar, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, that's you, Lothar? Oh,
Lothar Troller, that's me.
Oh, okay, perfect. Let's see, Sam Youngblood, if you'd like. If not, sorry.
Sari?
Hi, my name is Sari, and Jaclyn is a dear friend of mine, and she's so inspiring, and I love her cookbooks because they're so easy to follow the recipes, and the ingredients are easy to find. And my mother has rheumatoid arthritis and some other ailments, and Jaclyn is going to start working with her on how to relieve some of her pain from that. And I just listen to anything Jaclyn has to say. And I love how I feel when I have eaten a healthy fruit, vegetable, seed, nut diet. And I lived in Belize for many years, and we don't get all of the ingredients you can get at Whole Foods or Central Market. So I'm here with my mom. So it's great to be able to find all these different ingredients. I think what you're doing is wonderful. And I'm glad to be a part of the group today. Well, and so is my mom. Say hi, Mom. Hi.
Hello. Thanks so much, Sari. Pleasure to have you, and I am excited to be a friend of Jaclyn. Carolyn, Miller, would you like to introduce yourself? I know that we met on Instagram. If not,
I'm not at work, so I can't say much. But well, I guess we met, and I'm just here to see. I've actually stopped eating meat products maybe like 3 months now. So I'm kind of working my way through, everything.
Okay, thank you. Real quick, Abdusalam, if you'd like to introduce yourself. Or Melissa. If not, Desiree. Yeah, Des. Oh, Des. I know we need to talk. I have to figure out what to do.
Yes. Hey. Hi,
Hey.
everybody. I'm Des Ramos, and let's see. My husband and I did a week with Rebecca and felt fantastic. Had to abruptly stop it for a couple of weeks because we had a wedding. My son got married, and I had my grandbabies for 5 days. But I'm anxious to get back on track and want to feel great again. That's it.
Yay, thanks. Okay, so you said that I have to check your message. Something like
Yes.
You can't get it tomorrow. We'll talk about it.
Oh, I said, yeah, because we were overwhelmed with what we had already. And like we got a delivery. I didn't realize we were getting a delivery. I think I forgot we were getting delivery last week, but it was in the middle of, like, I had a house full of people. So I was definitely not doing any juicing or anything. And so now I have my freezer is packed with microgreens and stuff, and the refrigerator. And so I don't have room for anything.
Okay.
I just don't want to go bad.
You might not even be getting it. Like, do you know that you're getting it? I have to check.
I thought this was going to be a big delivery, so.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll check.
Okay, let me know. Okay.
Cool. Yes, Des and her husband have been a total powerhouse, so thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So, okay, if anyone else wants to introduce themselves, you can just write in the chat. But otherwise, I would love to open it up to Jaclyn. Really quick, I want to just show you guys, just wait 1 second. Before we go into Jaclyn, while I have your attention, I wanted to show you guys some stuff that I did today. So today I actually did something really interesting. I did an event at WeWork. I don't know if you guys are familiar with WeWork, but it's like a community building where people work together. And it's in the Manhattan. They have like a lot of different buildings in like Bryant Park and like really fancy centered locations. And just people from all over doing all different types of things have workspaces there. So they actually had their first event ever since like 2 years ago was me, which is cool. So their goal was to bring in somebody who is representing health and representing immune system support. And we linked up because I had done something with them before. And I just did an event and I taught people about sprouts and I taught people about wheatgrass and how to support your immune system with it. And it was really epic because I thought it was really cool that a big corporation like that is thinking so forward as to have something like wheatgrass and microgreens as their main event. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it just goes to show how powerful these things really are and how much this really is the future. And so many people don't know about it. And everybody who I talked to today was so happy that I introduced it to them because they're like, okay, now I have something that I can put into my smoothies every day. Now I have something that I can add into my lifestyle. So basically, those of you who are unfamiliar, we have sunflower and we have broccoli and all of these microgreens that you can add into your salads and smoothies for extra protein. And they're just a great resource to figure, and even to just throw them in your bag and keep them with you. This is like my life source. So we're going to talk a little bit about different recipes and how you can use these in your lifestyle and give you some tips. Okay, that's my little spiel. Now I would love to turn it over to Jaclyn, where we can, she can be the spotlight. So if you want to just go over to where it says Jaclyn to your name, because you're the host, and just say, make spotlight for everyone for yourself, Jaclyn. Perfect. And I would love for you to introduce yourself and just share a little bit about your story and well, first of all, the name of the program is Internal Conversations. So I'd love you to introduce yourself a little bit and also share the concept of internal conversations and why that's important to you and your journey.
Sure, thank you. I'm so honored to be here today. A funny story, I'll just fill you all in. Rebecca and I met on Instagram, and it's been a really great space for me recently since the pandemic to, host these kinds of collaborations or events. And since we're both in the health-like minded, company or, set of coaching or programs, I was able to cross paths with her and share with her a little bit about my story and tell her I tried one of her smoothies and I loved it. We got into talking about what I do, and I was like, oh my gosh, I told a little bit of my story and was like, you know what? I have never shared before and after pictures really, but today I decided I was going to. So just bear with me. I'm going to share my screen and pull up a few things that I would love to talk about with all of you.
Yeah, I can't see the screen at all,
Okay.
and I can't see you at all.
Can you see the screen now?
Oh, now I can.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Awesome. So I'm Jaclyn Rae. I'm a plant-based nutrition guru. I am based out of Portland. I have a virtual company offering online coaching, classes, digital products, recipes, and more. I really love to help individuals strategize to make their health a priority. And nearly a decade ago was when everything started to turn to a positive light for me. So I began a lifelong journey in which I became a nutritionist, educator, vegan chef, world author, and advocate for cruelty-free food consumption. And my first edition recipe book were all the recipes that I used to heal my gut health. They're all vegan, raw, super nutrient-dense recipes that I combined over time to heal my gut health and get my health on track. And then my second edition book is all vegan, plant-based recipes. They're all my gluten-free recipes when I experimented with the gluten-free flour. So it's really cool. I'll share more about it. My healing and transformation. So during this time in my life, I guess you could say I was ready to set goals and pull the reins in and decide to do it. And I really believed in what I was doing. So I set 3 goals that are lifelong goals. Goal number 1 was to optimize my health and gain control of my own health again. Goal number 2 was learning to love me and accept the things I could not change. Goal number 3 was to build and maintain support systems as well as meaningful relationships. And for me, it was full of pain and agony, and I never, as far as I was concerned, I felt like it would never change, and it never defined who I was. I will never forget the path that leads me to where I'm meant to be. I'm forever blessed knowing where I want to be, and I never lost my faith in God. My experience in nutrition is the foundation as well as support and lifestyle integration for everyone I work with. So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. From childhood, basically from birth, I struggled with food allergies all the way through my mid-20s. When I was reaching out for help, I tried the Western medicine route, was being prescribed things that made no sense to me because the doctors were testing to see for results. I went through scans, frequent ER visits, invasive procedures, and that was not for me. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sure all of you can relate to that, conversation. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. My lifelong goal was to gain optimal health back, and this was the turning point for me to take control of my health back into my hands again. Here's me. This was in my 20s. My skin was purging. I wore sunglasses everywhere I went. I wore hats everywhere I went. I wore scarves everywhere I went. I went like in complete disguise because I felt ugly. And this was a lot of the internal conversation. I felt ugly, and I like what Rebecca was saying, not feeling worthy enough or this or that. I never thought I would be healthy again because the route I was going, the doctors kept saying, you have to do this, you have to do this, and, kept trying to prescribe me things. As my health declined, I was getting more scared, and I was growing weak. There were many times I ignored my symptoms, and doing this caused a ripple effect in a huge tidal wave, and it came and hit me at the peak of my college career. I'd taken 2 years away from college to focus on my health, and this was when I made the conscious decision to go 100% plant-based. So I was raw vegan for 4 years. Fast forward, I've been vegan 8 years, and I'm not raw vegan anymore, and it healed my gut health. Living with my diagnosis. Here's me again. I didn't feel pretty. I was really, really skinny, malnourished. My skin was breaking out. I had hives all over. I could never figure out what was going on. After my personal experience going through this and learning which food combinations will most likely reduce my symptoms, such as severe food allergies and an incurable autoimmune disease, a compromised GI system, and additional stressors of everyday life, I adopted a new way of loving myself, unconditional acceptance, grace, and kindness. This includes thinking positively and learning to focus on what I want to attract in my life. This is a time where I looked at myself in the mirror and I knew I was like on my deathbed, and I knew I couldn't look back. I was already on my journey. I was already starting the raw vegan lifestyle, and I had to adopt this lifestyle where I went to the store daily, grabbed my food, my raw ingredients daily, prepared my food, and it was just a routine that I built. And it's hard because the conversations that were going on were, oh, this isn't convenient, or oh, and we all want convenience. And that's one thing that a lot of my clients struggle with too, is things aren't as convenient as we would like them to be. The next thing that is super important was building healthy support systems. And by all means, if you have family members or any kind of friends or any kind of support or even counselors you trust, those are the people that will help you to solidify these changes that you want to make. And for me, it did. It changed my world around. I had my family and friends support when making a choice to go plant-based. And this helped reinforce my actions of healing and my symptoms. And I believed I could do it, and having a strong support system helped eliminate many of these pressures of life or negative conversations inside of my head. As an individual who was embarrassed to share what I was experiencing during my journey, I hope to inspire others to adopt a healthy relationships and support systems and build meaningful relationships with people you trust. If anyone's interested, I have a vegan community that's growing on Facebook. It's a private group. You're welcome to join if you want to be part of a group that is, people are changing or going that direction. I'm not here to convert anybody. I'm just here to help educate and welcome you into the community. So you can go on and look for vegan-centric utopian lifestyles if you wanted to join that group. Conversations and chatter. So often I see people wait till they have serious health issues or underlying conditions before choosing to eat healthier. I know a lot of you can relate to this, or have heard people say, oh, now I have to change because I have such and such diagnosis, or I have such and such health ailment, or I have this or that. Don't let this be you. Whether you're just starting your healthy journey or want extra support, I would be honored to support you on your path to a healthier you. Everyone gets a free evaluation before working with me. And in doing so, we learn if we're a good fit, because sometimes when you work with people, I mean, you just gotta lay out the foundation and see what people are looking for, because everybody has different needs and wants. And then lastly, what I wanted to share here is my first and second edition recipe books. They're ebooks. I'm working on getting print books published shortly. I'm in the process of doing that right now. But if you're interested, you can visit my website, jaclyncreations.com, and you can purchase it digitally or as a gift. If any of you have questions or have internal dialogue that you wanted to share, please do so in the chat. I would love to answer any questions that come up.
So I asked a couple questions in the chat. First of all, thank you, Jaclyn. That was amazing. Really, really interesting to hear your story. What health issues did you have, and what symptoms did you have that made you realize that you needed to turn things around? And at what point did you realize you needed to turn it around?
Okay, so as a small child, I used to get hives and I would throw up, and I'd get like rashes on my skin that would be painful to the touch, painful. It'd feel hot and burn and stinging sensations. And I went through all my life with that, all the way up until like my mid-20s when I decided to go raw vegan. And I actually was diagnosed with food allergies, severe food allergies. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and it's something that I have to live with, but I can stabilize the symptoms I have through diet and through lifestyle. So like if I don't move around, or if I'm not eating healthy, I'll feel it in my joints and every muscle in my body. Another diagnosis I had was I was allergic to dairy. So I was lactose intolerant, and I don't eat any dairy, no cheese, no butter, no eggs. So I'm vegan, and a lot of people think that vegan might be uncooked foods, but oftentimes it can go with the raw vegan diet, so people might be confused. So when I went vegan, I actually was raw vegan first, and eating raw vegan, an alkaline diet, a low fat diet, a low carb diet, all combined with nutrient dense sources, plant-based sources and protein sources, I was able to stabilize all of my health ailments, and I was also able to reverse a lot of the symptoms that I was experiencing through my life. And all the way up until my 20s, when I was in college, was when it like reared its ugly head again. And I think it was because I was very stressed out. I had a couple other setbacks in my life during that time, and I think stress was really something that made it apparent, made it like worse, because I was ending up in the ER all the time with anaphylaxia. I was ending up, I couldn't go out to eat. I couldn't go into restaurants that were cooking like shellfish, for example, because it was airborne. And there were times that I would eat foods that were like cross-contaminated from the kitchen, and my lips would swell up, and I'd have to go into the ER, like things like that. And then always throwing up, always getting sick, and not keeping food down. So those were a lot of the symptoms that I was like going through all my life. And I just was so tired of it. And I was so tired of like none of the things I thought I was doing, like going to my regular doctor and going in for visits, going in and getting prescriptions, going in and, having upper GI doctors look inside. It just, none of it made sense to me. And then eventually I was like inspired by Gabriel Cousens. He's this holistic, he owns like a holistic college in Arizona, and he does the Life Force diet is what it's called. He's somebody that I started following, and then I listened to him, and I was like, I think, I need to just eat the food, and that's when it clicked for me. And I made the decision, I am going to make it a priority to shop for my food regularly. And every week I would stock up on the fresh raw ingredients, whether it was the fruits or the vegetables. A lot of it was just leafy greens, and I was staying away from fruits because I didn't want the sugar, because I wanted to reset my gut health and the biome, because I was literally, I think it was like overpopulated with bad bacteria because of the way I ate growing up. And being being part of a systematic thing, I was shown how to eat or what my folks ate. And we grew up eating like chicken, meat, we had meat, but like here nowadays, none of my family's vegan, none of my immediate family's vegan, but like they do start to ask questions and they do want to know more. Like I have my mom calling me saying, Jaclyn, I'm in the middle of this recipe. Can you make sure I'm doing it right? I'm like, okay, where are you at? It's super cute. So she just wants to call to make sure she's on track. I'm like, you're doing so awesome. It's so awesome. So yeah, it's just those little shifts of consciousness that are super helpful. And even if it's just you telling yourself, okay, I need to go to the store this week and buy 2 more extra vegetables to add into my meal consumption this week. Even just telling yourself that and making yourself do it and committing to it are the small cues, the small things that you could do to reinforce these positive changes and thought processes that are happening.
Thank you. Yeah, like what you were saying about, having all those health issues growing up, and just being like, you had enough. And you were saying also that you had these kind of like limiting beliefs and challenges with even making that transition. So one thing that you mentioned in your presentation was, hang on, let me just see what my question was like the convenience factor, right? So like at first you were like, oh, it's not convenient. I have to chop, different things that might, different thoughts that might prevent you from doing it and continuing to do it. Is there anything that you would recommend to somebody who is feeling like, oh, well, what to do in social situations, or what to do when you're busy and you have to run, you don't have time to meal prep, or how do I meal prep when I am really busy and I don't have all my time to give this, all my focus to give to this? Yeah. What are some easy things that you did when you were like feeling overwhelmed in the beginning, and what kept you on track?
Yes, this is so great. So I researched like nutrient dense plant-based proteins or nutrient dense foods that I could eat to get used to eating that way. And you have to start, small. Like what I mean by that is, if you want to replace dairy, for instance, you can't just remove dairy and expect to go forward. You have to have a replacement. And for me, it wasn't that easy just quitting cheese, right? We grew up eating Tillamook cheese. It was the best thing, right? I grew up eating like, what are they called? Grilled cheese sandwiches, and I love those, right? But I never knew why I always felt so sick. I was like, maybe I just ate too much cheese. But no, I had allergies to the dairy. So the thing is, as far as like planning, you have to make obtainable goals, or also make sure that you're ready to commit to these small shifts that you're working towards, because it's not something done overnight. It's not something done in a day. I mean, our goals change daily. They can change by the second. But also you have to remember, with that being said, that your goals, you have a couple kind of goals. There's the short term, there's the long term, and there's the lifelong goals. But the short term goals can change like rapidly, like by the second, as far as like finding the things with convenience. For me, it was trying to find like the nutrient dense foods to snack on to hold me over if I was in a hurry, like raw almonds or, walnuts are really good too. But if you have food allergies to nuts, you wouldn't want to go with the nuts. You'd probably do like dates, or you'd probably eat, there's other stuff out there. But it's just, for me, what worked was I had to make time for meal prep because I couldn't go out to eat. And also in social settings, to answer the social settings question, I always have to bring my own food. So wherever I go, my food goes.
Totally. I'm the same way. To be honest with you, you don't have the screen on me, but I just ate while you were talking. I just ate an entire clamshell of sunflower sprouts, an entire small thing of blueberries, and like a half a cup of lentil sprouts. Like that's my meal right now as I'm like listening to you, because I haven't eaten in a bit. But like I'm on the run with these foods, and this is what I eat, and I feel like $1,000,000 when I bring it with me.
Yeah.
I kind of want to open it up to people here that are watching and ask, like, what you guys believe about feelings, right? So we were talking about all this stuff is great, and I want Jaclyn to go into some recipes too, but I want to sort of tap into what it means to get in touch with your inner self, because we have all of these thoughts that are trying to sabotage us, and we are not our thoughts. So there's a few resources that have really helped me make a shift. One being The Secret, the movie The Secret, right? The concepts that like you can manifest by believing. But the problem with that is that when we're manifesting, when we're trying to manifest things and just telling ourselves something that we don't necessarily really believe, we're just trying to convince ourselves that, it's not going to work, because you have to actually believe it. So that's the difference between manifesting and it working and manifesting and it not working, actually believing it. So how do you get yourself to actually believe that you can lose 30 pounds? How do you get yourself to actually believe that you deserve love? How do you get yourself to actually believe that you can be healthy and actually get rid of these symptoms and get rid of your aches and your pains? How do you get yourself to actually believe that? That's the question, because you've been living with it for so long that it doesn't seem like it's possible. You've been in and out, and how do you get yourself to believe that you can actually lose that weight and actually keep it off long term? Because we've been up and down for so long that, like, according to the facts, we don't believe it to be true, right? Like there's no way that it can be true. And the way to move past that, like, here are the facts, and let me just, let me look at that and realize that, based on statistics, it's not going to happen, and there's no reason for me really to believe this. Rather than going down that pathway, if it's something that you want, the only way that you're going to get it is by believing in it. And the way to believe in something that you don't believe in is by pretending like that is you already. Like literally playing the role, getting into actor mode, getting into fantasy land, being a totally crazy person and pretending like that is you. I am 20 pounds less. I am gorgeous, and everyone is staring at me when I walk down the street. Everyone is turning their eyes and they're like, oh my gosh, who is that woman? She is the most gorgeous woman in the whole world. That's what's literally happening to me every single day, and it feels amazing. That's not, I'm saying, like, that is the internal dialogue that you want to be telling yourself. Even if that's not happening, if you can imagine yourself, close your eyes and imagine that being you, you are the person that's walking down the street that everyone is turning eyes at because you look so hot. Imagine that is you, and you totally 100% embody that. That is the next level consciousness that allows you to have a positive internal dialogue that can completely transform and manifest your life. Because those of you who are on that spiritual path as well, which many of you are, who are looking to eat more living foods, know that the way that we feel and the way that we think manifests our physical reality. And the way to change our thoughts is to change our feelings. And the way to change our feelings is to actually embody that situation. So it's something that we're not really used to doing. It's kind of an out there exercise, but I'm going to give you all homework, if not right now as a group, but later, to write down, even right now on a notebook, who is your ideal self? What is your goal? And how would it feel to actually be that way? This is something that I ask people every single time I get on a phone call with them as an intake call. Those of you who have had an intake call with me, I always ask the question of, how would it feel to actually lose that weight and be your optimal self? How would it feel? What would your day look like in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening? And then they go through and they fantasize. They say, oh, well, in the morning I would wake up and I would be singing and I would be making, juice for my daughter, and I'd be taking care of all my affairs without any aches or pains. And I would be happy, and my family would be happy that I'm happy. And you start to fantasize and tell yourself that story. And then all of a sudden it becomes way more tangible, because now you're living in it, when normally your thoughts are, how come I can't get there? How come I can't get there? How come I can't get there? Right? Those are the thoughts that we usually have. So by fantasizing and imagining that that's what is you can actually get in touch with that feeling. And once you can get in touch with the feeling, you actually don't need the actual result to happen. As long as you feel like you're the most beautiful girl on the street, as long as you feel like you're 20 pounds lighter, as long as you feel like you're in complete health, doesn't matter, right? I just wanted to share that little piece of wisdom for you guys, because it's definitely transformed my life. And I think that it's a big lesson when it comes to internal dialogue. What do you guys think? Anybody? I'd like to open it up to you guys and actually ask, has anyone, including Jaclyn, just kind of, you can unmute yourself if you'd like to say something. Has anyone had an experience in their life where changing their thoughts actually made a difference? Or even so, like where your thoughts kept you back and you noticed that it was a perpetual cycle? Has anyone had an experience in their lives where they've noticed a big shift through their thoughts and their feelings?
Well, I can speak to that. I really do. It resonates with me. The Secret. I actually watched it and I read the book, but I liked watching it because I'm visual. And for me, it was reaffirming what I believed and what I wanted, and only focusing on the things that were working in the direction that I was manifesting. And for me, it was gaining weight. It was the opposite of losing that weight. It was gaining weight in a healthy way. It was curbing my sweet tooth. It was solving my food allergies and resolving it and stabilizing it so I could actually eat like a normal human without getting sick. And the internal dialogue was, why me? I'm sure you all have asked yourselves, why me, right? And the story might have not been like my story, but it was your story. And it's actually, the way I look at it is, it was a lesson preparing me for today and for my future, so I could serve my community in a way to share and educate in health, and how I healed my gut and how I healed my symptoms through diet and through lifestyle.
I love that. Thank you. And I think that is huge. That hit home for me, the question of why me, because there are so many people who have health issues and now have this allergy, and they need to not eat these things, right? They can only eat raw vegan, it seems like. And then people put this kind of negative spin on it, like, why do I have to do this? And everybody else gets to have burgers and gluten and this and that. And that's a big question that I hear all the time, of like victimizing and being angry and resenting the process, which is totally normal and understandable. I'm not judging that in any way.
Right.
I completely understand coming from that space, because why? Like, why should I have to do something different when other people don't have to? And I think that question, when we hear that question, that is a little ding, 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 ding. Something that we need to try and swap. It's not why me, why is this happening to me? But it's how can I grow with this? What can I learn from this? And seriously, why me? Like, oh, why me? Not why me, but why me?
Yeah, definitely. So I really think that's interesting. It's a stimulating thing to think about because when I compare where I was to where I am now, I never thought I would have accomplished healing my gut. I never thought I would be a nutrition guru or health coach or have a program to help people. And the things that I was aimlessly looking for help in, I used it as an opportunity to build my foundation of how I can serve the community. And I used it as, you know how like they say stress it can kill the body, right? Well, I turned my stress, every time I would turn to stress and I'd think, oh my gosh, I'm stressing out, I would ultimately want to turn it into eustress, where I could turn the stress into something that I could use it in. And I started doing my food science research, and this was back when I was in college. And then it inspired me to go the route and become a nutritionist because I wanted to heal ultimately myself and through diet. And so it just inspired all these things to happen. And then fast forward 8 years, you know, after all that, I wrote 2 books and I'm like, how did that even happen, right? Like it turned from one thing to another, and that's what you got to measure is where you came from, not from where you want to be, right? Or not from where you're supposed to be, but from where you came from.
Amen, sister. Amen. Woo! I love that. That is so good. Okay, enough of the foo-foo. Give us some recipes, girlfriend.
Yeah, I have this amazing one. Let me share my screen. I'm going to thank you for agreeing. Awesome. I have a little video clip, and then I'm going to share a link in the chat for all of you to check out. And you can download this recipe for free. Let me see if I can do this. Yay. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share the link and all of you can click on it and go enter your name, your email, and it'll be emailed right to you. So let me find out how to get back to you here. Okay, let's see here. There it is. It's in the chat. Please download it and let me know your thoughts if you try it. I'd love to hear from you. Also, yeah, if anybody has questions about it, that would be cool too. I see a question from Cindy. I'm not sure how to say your last name, so I don't want to butcher it. But a great way to rethink the food allergy syndrome is to say to yourself, aren't I fortunate that my body is giving me warning signs prior to having more severe health problems as a result? I do believe that. I think that I was the only one out of 7 kids in my family who has these special vices or special powers. I actually call them superpowers, and that's my internal dialogue now. It was never that before. It was always why me, but you're so right, Cindy. And the reason why I changed it to that dialogue is because it's true. I can detect things, I can taste foods and tell what's in it. I can be sampling something and say, oh, you use avocado oil, or oh, you use like, you know, cranberries or this or that. And I'm super sensitive to everything. So it's my superpower.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Superhuman. Da, da, da. This recipe that you just gave us.
Yeah.
Hey, whoever's getting jiggy with it, can you mute yourself? Thank you. Do you, first of all, that recipe that you just gave us, what is the recipe for? You don't have to give me the actual recipe, but what is that dish?
Yeah, this is a great recipe for those who want like an energy boost. It's combined ingredients. It's like plant-based protein, homemade flours. It's all gluten-free. It's all alkalizing. And basically, if people are like in a hurry, you want to prepare these ahead of time. If you're like somebody always on the go, prepare them ahead of time. If you're somebody who works out and goes to the gym, they're great if you prepare them like at the beginning of the week, and they last in the fridge up to 5 days with a closed container. And easy to pack for on the road, if you're going on the road, if you're going camping, all those kinds of things. And everybody loves to eat with their hands, right?
True. Wait, so what? It's a hazelnut gluten-free oat bite. Okay, cool. You want to know? You want to see something hilarious? Are you ready for this? Oh, well, you can't see me because you're the spotlight, but I'm literally eating little bites just like that right now. I'm like having a whole feast right now as we're talking. I don't know if you can.
Can you turn your camera on? I'm the only one with my camera on.
Oh,
so it felt
sorry,
kind of
guys.
funny, but yes. Oh my God.
Literally,
Welcome.
I know. These are dates, walnuts, and coconut shavings, and a little bit of banana. So this is like a sweet treat. Those of you who are on my cleanse, I do have energy ball recipes in my program, but only on the bottom, like where it says like extra recipes. Like it's not actually in the cleanse. It's almost like just if like you need it.
Awesome.
So energy balls are so easy. This actually took me, I went to 4th of July. I went to a 4th of July party last weekend or whatever. And I wanted to bring something cute, and I had like 5 minutes, and I don't know why I decided to make this, because it's like not the easiest cleanup situation, but it actually only took me 5 minutes. I threw in dates, I threw in walnuts, I threw in a banana, I blended it in my Cuisinart, I made little balls, I dipped it into coconut, and was on my way in like 6 minutes. It was insane how quick it was. So like, just saying, those of you who have this thought that it's convenience wise, it's totally not. Once you know how to use it, it's actually the quickest way to eat. Here I am, I just had dinner, and it was literally like, I didn't have to prepare anything. I just ate sunflower sprouts and blueberries.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think Shoshana mentioned something about feeling full off of nutrients rather than carbs, or just like, other foods, right, that we're used to eating. And it's so true. And that little snack, it has so many nutrients that you'll feel full longer, and it will also reduce your cravings for sugar or, salt, those kinds of things.
100%. So true. Hey, I wanted to ask you a question, because the reason why we met was because you liked one of my recipes with microgreens. So I wanted to ask you how you like to use microgreens. What's like a recipe? What do you like to use with them? Like use them for?
Yes. Okay. I'm so glad you asked. So I remember the recipe I tried. It was kind of my first go around with using, I think there were sunflower sprouts, and I don't typically do that just because I don't do well with sunflower anything, but I did try it, and the texture was something that got to me. But normally I buy the sprouts that you had in your hand when you came in earlier on the call. I buy the broccoli sprouts, the other sprouts, and I'll use those over like avocado toast, or over a remoulade bagel, or something that I'm, crafting, usually like a sandwich or something. Or I would do like a raw beet salad with the microgreens and root vegetables and something like that.
Cool. Perfecto. See, once I met her, once I met Jaclyn, I was like, okay, we're totally in line. Talk to my people. They need you 100%. So thank you, Jaclyn. And I also want to like just let you guys know that if you feel that there's something that you want to share during these weekly meetings, that just message me. And if there's a topic that you want to bring up, or that you feel like is important to talk about. Also, like I listen each week when people give me feedback on their week and how they're feeling, and I try and make the week relevant. So this week there was a lot of, people had trouble staying on, and there was a lot of internal dialogue of feeling guilty. And I think it's important to hear the inspiration that we all go through that, and it's not easy. And the fact that you were able to do this even for a week or a month or 6 weeks, Shoshana, is a huge, huge, incredible, unbelievable win. And the reason why a program like mine doesn't exist yet is because it's hard. I make it seem like it's easy, but that's just because we're laughing and we're having fun with it, but it's not. And the fact that you can do it is like such a testament to human willpower and to the potential of you. And your downfalls are just part of life. Like I said in my little quote, like life is just a cha-cha. We have a step forward, we have a step back, and as long as we're dancing through it, we're gonna get there. Like we just have to dance and be happy and enjoy it, because we start having that negative resentment. That's what makes it not fun, and it makes it much harder for us to get there. So whatever is going on right now, if you feel like you're having a setback in any way, just smile through it. Smile through it, love yourself through it, and tell yourself that this is temporary, and you didn't fail until you give up on yourself. You haven't failed until you give up on yourself. It's just part of the journey, and that's the hugest thing for me. What do you think, Jaclyn?
You gotta show up for yourself, number one.
Amen, sister. Okay, so Jaclyn wanted to share her books, her ebooks.
So will you all, whoever wants to participate, put your name and email in the chat, and I'm going to be raffling off each of my recipe books, the first edition and the second edition. So I'm going to have 2 winners. One will get the first edition and one will get the second edition ebook. And whoever wants to participate, please put your name and email in the chat, and I will be raffling it off within the next 24 hours.
So follow Jaclyn on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll put my Instagram in the chat for you.
Yeah, so follow Jaclyn on Instagram and put your email below, and you can get a chance to win her ebook, which is epic, because that's what we need, right? We just need more recipes.
Right.
And those of you who are new to me or have only ordered from me for a few times, I do have, you can get a weekly delivery of a subscription of wheatgrass and microgreens, or you can do my full coaching program, which is what many of the people here are here for, where I teach you how to do a raw vegan cleanse at home for a week, for a month, for 3 months, and give you a step-by-step guide on how to do that with the community. So if anyone feels that they need to improve their health, or feels that they need to get that guide and recipes and structure, that's what I'm here for, Jaclyn as well. And you can just reach out to either of us on Instagram, and we'd be happy to help you in any way.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you so much, Rebecca. This was so fun.
Thank you. You're such an incredible, gorgeous light. And I'm so happy to have you as a symbol of what health can be, and what changing your life around can be, and what perseverance can be, because that's what we all need, a little bit of inspiration that we can really do it.
Woo! It's all because of my community, baby. So if all of you weren't here, if all of us weren't like supportive and showing interest in what we're all doing here tonight, this wouldn't have happened.
We need each other.
Thank you all for being here.
Yes, and if you want to leave your, I also have a WhatsApp group chat. So you guys can email me or whatever, just reach out to me if you want to be part of the weekly group Zooms, and my WhatsApp group chat, the private group chat that I have, where we're all just like posting wheatgrass shots and salads and sandwiches all day long with healthy stuff. Let me know. You can be a part of that as well. And I hope to see you guys next week on Wednesday. It's the same Zoom link at 7:30. And y'all are welcome to come.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Make sure that you copy and paste all of the emails that you have before you end the Zoom call, because that's the only way to get them. And and then you'll send me over the recorded video. But thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful night, and let me know if you need anything. Bye.
Night. Bye.